Ashley, and I'm here to talk about the last 5 books I've read. The first one will be one of the last ones I've read in February, because it's March, which is The Gravity of Us by Phil Stamper. This is an alternative reality novel where astronauts are famous for a reality TV show instead of going to space. I mean, that's not all they're famous for. I mean, they go to space. There is a plan set for them to go to Mars. They are picking the astronauts. Cal Lewis is a journalist in New York. He's a teenager, and his father, Cal Lewis Sr., is the next astronaut to go to space, or to go to Mars. All of a sudden, he went from being a journalist just in New York to being one on, well, not really being one, but being part of this whole reality show that they're part of. He meets new friends, he grows, he learns about science. It's all fun. It's one of those, it's a contemporary YA novel where this kid doesn't know what he's doing until he knows what he's doing. But he actually did. I don't even know how to describe it aside from a contemporary fun YA novel. I actually read this one on audio, but I bought the physical copy, as you can see, because I can't help myself. It's fully casted. Characters are played by different people. That makes it a whole lot of fun to listen to. Would recommend this one. The next one I read will be Black is the Body by Emily Bernard. This is a memoir about the time she was stabbed, I think in like 1997. It was, Charlie, there's your ball. It was good. It was a short memoir. I finished it in February, so I'm not 110% on the details, but I enjoyed reading it. I read it on my Kindle. It was the last book I read in February, and it's about being a black female, being a black woman in America, and the things that happen to black women's bodies. Stories from her time, her mother's time, and her grandmother's time. The whole title is Black is the Body, Stories from My Grandmother's Time, My Mother's Time, and Mine, about female violence. And it's, I mean, it's a memoir. I enjoyed it. It didn't all feel like it was a completely put together, but it was a good read. If you don't like memoirs, though, I wouldn't really recommend it. The next one I read is Anonymous Girl by Greer, Hendrix, and Sarah Pekkanen. This is a psychological mystery about Jessica Ferris, who agrees to be part of this experiment, in a psychological experiment about ethics and morality. Turns out that's not what this whole storyline is about, and the doctor is involved. She's subject 52. There's got a couple weird POVs in it, and I really did enjoy this, but the ending was kind of a letdown. Like, there was such good build up for it to just end the way it did. So, I don't know. I still say I gave this 4 stars because the build up is worth reading. So if you ignore the fact that I felt like they wrote themselves into a corner, they couldn't end it any other way, it was good. I'm actually gonna read, this was a buddy read with a friend, Heather, my friend, one of my bridesmaids for my wedding. We are actually picking this up, not this one, but their next novel, You Are Not Alone, in April with the Literally Dead book club that Books and Lala runs. So I know that one come out like March 3rd. All the books this year, it seems like they come out on March 3rd, but I enjoyed it. We'll read their next one. Next, I read All the Stars and Teeth by Adalyn Grace. This was my Owl Crate edition that I got for February, and oh my god, I loved it. This is full of YA tropes. It reminded me so much of Hunger Games and The Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard and Twilight. I mean, no, it's not like any of those, but it's got the same YA science fiction and fantasy story. Like, it's a YA fantasy, and there's a princess who has powers. She's got, Red Queen is a good prompt for this one. She has magical powers. The princess Amora, she is the only one that's supposed to have these powers. Something goes wrong at a showing, kind of like Three Dark Crowns. They have to prove themselves that she's worthy of the crown for this land, and if she's not, and she uses soul magic, which is something that they use to execute people, and not everybody can use it. And anyway, something goes wrong. She ends up with a pirate who is from this banished land that she didn't know people can get out of. She has to go with him on this epic adventure, and I really hope there's more. There's a mermaid. I love mermaids. I talked about that in the Owl Crate unboxing, which you've probably already seen by the time this one comes out. I love mermaids. So I saw the mermaid tail and decided that same week I opened the box to read the book because I had to, and I loved it. I'm so glad I did. It's one of those that I love so much because it was such a fun read, but I can't pick and choose details. I can't remember every little thing. I loved it. Would recommend. Last and final of the last 5 books I've read is The Secret Place by Tana. This is the only book that I have read by Tana that I didn't love. And it's because this is I believe the 5th in the Dublin Murder Squad. The Dublin Murder Squad follows a group of detectives that investigate murders. The first one was in the woods, then the likeness, then Broken Harbor, Faithful Place. There's this one, The Secret Place, follows Stephen Moran and Antonetta Conway, who is the actual murder squad detective. Moran works in cold cases, but this has Holly Mackey, the daughter of Frank Mackey, who was in the Faithful Place, which is my favorite in this series. But it follows them in a girls' boarding school. There was a boy that was murdered like a year ago. Holly Mackey finds this picture showing the boys saying, "I know who killed him." Holly Mackey takes it to him, and he has to solve the murder. But the reason, now it's pretty much set up, you would think I would like it. It's dual timeline. It goes back and forth from a year ago to today. What the girls were a year ago to what they're doing now. It follows the detectives trying to solve this, talking to all the girls, investigating, trying to build a working relationship, because they've never worked together before. Neither one of them has been really great with partners before now. And I enjoyed the story. of the detectives. I enjoyed their build up. I did like the girls and their storyline from a year ago. What I did not like was the supernatural magical element. And I'm choosing to decide, like, this is a spoiler. I'm choosing to say that the supernatural element that she put in this story was actually just a group of girls who were emotionally disturbed from the things going on at the school in their lives, and they thought they had powers. It was like one of those cult mind followings. It wasn't real. That is how I'm picturing this book, to give it the 3 stars I gave it, because otherwise I wouldn't have liked that at all. But I love Tana French, so I'm gonna pick up the next one and I can't wait. But this is the last of the last 5 books I've read. If you want to let me know what you've read in the past couple of months, please leave me a comment down below. Tell me all about it. I'd love to hear it. And thank y'all for watching. Please like and subscribe. Hit the bell to get notifications. And I will see y'all later. Me and Charlie, who doesn't want to be in the camera range. So, sorry.